What is going on, everyone? What I have for you today is a Woodpecker Trem, which is a as close as you can get replica of an Earthquaker Hummingbird trem pedal. So the only modifications to that would be that I added the rate LED, which isn't perfect, but it gives you a nice flashing indication. It doesn't fully shut off, but it does give you a pulse on the lower settings so that you can see what your trem is set to before you activate it. So that is not the activation light, that is just the pulse light to tell you what your tempo is set to. So full disclosure, this is not a totally hand-built pedal. This is built from a PCB purchase from Pedal PCB. I had this laying around for a long time. I built one of these many, many years ago and I was blown away by it. Well, I've had these boards sitting around and I've gotten into hand building, so I really haven't touched the pre-printed PCBs, and I thought, you know what? This always was a really good pedal, and I love the way the graphics turned out the first time, so I figured I would rip another one, because why not? It deserves life. So here it is. As always, I'm using my Victory V40 Duchess with a closed back pine wood cab, pair of vintage 30s, and for overdrive today, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm using my Strymon Sunset because it has a noise suppressor built into it. I'm using my Fender American Strat Pro. The last couple days here in Virginia, we have had an overwhelming amount of rain. So with the humidity, my grounding system is acting up even more than normal, and I do get a lot of clicking in the background from my shoddy ground. Well, when the humidity's high, it's much worse. So Strymon Sunset has a noise suppressor built into the overdrive. It's very intuitive, doesn't choke your notes out too badly, so I figured I would use that to save everybody a little bit of annoyance today. So without further ado, here is my tone without the pedal, and I am running this into my effects loop. I will pause the video and put it in the front end, but for the moment it's running as the first thing in my effects chain. So beautiful trem effect, and you can control the depth to where it's pulsing completely off and on, or make it a little more subtle, so you just get a bit of a wobble. I like to run it right about there, just past noon. Now the rate is all the way up right now on the slowest speed setting. And this is a true divider, so we'll flip it into double. You can get some pretty fast trem speeds out of that double setting. Now out of the triple, can get all the way into ring mod territory. Let's just check that out. Let me kill some of the background effects. I'll shut off the reverbs. Let's bring the depth all the way up and run that rate wide open. What you might notice when you're doing that, you get this false sub-octave behind it, so it's kind of fun to play around with. Works better with single coils, in my opinion, than it does with humbuckers, but it still sounds killer. And on the slowest rate setting, it's a very occasional pulse. Now the rate ran all the way up on the slowest setting. If you flick all the way over to the second setting, this one picks up almost where that one left off. And then on the highest setting, which is the center position, get into a whole lot of wildness. All right, I'm going to pause the video and put it in the front end. All right, we are back with it in the front end. And in the front end, running it as the last pedal in your effects chain, past your drives and everything, the ring mod sub-octave effect is a lot more noticeable. So here we go on that.